Imagine something 11 kilometers wide, larger than the city of Paris, moving silently through space and heading straight into our solar system. Not just a random rock, but on a trajectory so precise it defies chance. And this is not science fiction. Astronomers have already tracked this object and confirmed it as the largest interstellar visitor ever detected. Larger than Oumuamua, larger than most comets, and visible thanks to the most advanced monitoring systems humanity has ever developed. It arrived precisely at the moment when we finally have the telescopes and algorithms capable of detecting what, just a decade ago, would have slipped past unnoticed. The detail becomes even more striking when we remember the precedent. In 2017, it was Oumuamua, the first interstellar object ever detected, which left scientists perplexed with its mysterious acceleration and unusual shape. For some, Oumuamua seemed to behave like a probe, a cosmic spy slipping through the solar system in silence, as if testing the limits of our awareness. Now Atlas emerges as a colossus, far larger and far more visible. And this raises the inevitable question, are we witnessing a simple cosmic coincidence or a sequence? First, something that behaved like a messenger, and then the arrival of something immense. But what if this arrival isn't coincidence at all? What if Atlas is moving exactly as a civilization would? Cautious, hidden, strategic. Stay until the end, because we'll uncover why its path may fit perfectly into the chilling logic of the dark forest theory. What stands out most about Atlas's trajectory is not its approach to Earth. After all, it will pass at a safe distance. What truly intrigues astronomers is the path it has taken. Along its route, the object passes near Mars, then Venus, and later Jupiter. In other words, it crosses strategic regions of the solar system, places where atmospheres, magnetic fields, and moons reveal crucial information about the nature of each planet. And here lies a curious detail. This route doesn't seem like the product of chance. If it were just another comet, we would expect an erratic passage with no clear pattern. But Atlas follows a trajectory that would allow for broad data collection, using planetary gravitational fields to redirect its path, while at the same time keeping its distance from Earth. It's as if it were carrying out large-scale reconnaissance, without drawing attention. This pattern is reminiscent of strategies humans have used throughout history. Before sending an entire fleet into unknown waters, explorers would dispatch smaller ships to map currents, winds, and hazards. During the Cold War, submarines launched discrete probes to test radar and sonar systems. Even in the natural world, birds send scouts ahead before migrating in large groups. The principle is always the same: observe quietly first, then act safely. Through this lens, Atlas becomes even more unsettling. The object doesn't just seem to be crossing the solar system, it seems to be following a deliberate strategy of observation, avoiding any direct approach that would force us to see it as a threat. Coincidence or not, Atlas behaves like something that values caution. And for that very reason, its passage may reflect a larger logic, the same logic described by the chilling hypothesis of the dark forest. The hypothesis known as the dark forest begins with a simple and terrifying idea. The universe is like a vast, silent forest. Every civilization is a hunter hidden in the darkness. All are armed, all are afraid, and in such a place, any noise can be fatal. To reveal your position is to risk attracting someone more advanced, and possibly hostile. According to this logic, the only true survival strategy is to remain in absolute silence. To observe from afar, never transmit signals, never reveal your location. Does that sound extreme? Think about it. We humans have already been sending radio transmissions into space for just over 100 years. This means that any civilization within 100 light years may already have detected our presence. But if they follow the logic of the forest, then simply speaking too loudly might already put us at risk. The idea becomes even clearer when we look at nature itself. On Earth, camouflage is one of the most common survival strategies. Octopuses that change color to hide from predators, insects that imitate leaves, birds that stay perfectly still in the silence of the forest. In every case, the rule is the same. The one who exposes itself is the one who dies first. Atlas, with its calculated trajectory and apparent silence, seems to echo this very cosmic law. It doesn't come too close, It doesn't emit anything we can detect. It doesn't draw attention. It simply watches from a distance, as if following the same survival logic that countless species have already mastered here on our own planet. And this leaves us with a disturbing reflection. If the universe truly functions like a dark forest, then perhaps we will never find clear signals of other civilizations. Not because they don't exist, but because all of them have already learned the same lesson. To survive, you must remain silent. From Oumuamua to Atlas, interstellar visitors have raised more questions than answers. If they are only comets or asteroids, they already transform how we understand the cosmos. After all, until just a few years ago, we believed the chances of detecting even one interstellar object were minimal. Now we have seen not just one, but 3 different visitors crossing our solar system in less than a decade. Far too quickly to be dismissed as mere coincidence. This suggests that such travelers may be far more common than we once imagined, and that perhaps we are only a small corner on a very busy cosmic highway. But if they are not just fragments of ice and rock, then Atlas may represent something even greater. In that case, what we may be witnessing is strategic, calculated behavior that echoes the logic of the dark forest. A universe where civilizations do not announce themselves with radio signals or grand journeys, but instead rely on silent, discrete probes that observe without revealing. In this scenario, Oumuamua could have been the first messenger, and Atlas the confirmation that more may follow. And here lies the most unsettling question. What happens when someone finally decides to break the silence? Would that contact be peaceful or the prelude to something hostile? Either way, each of these visitors changes the way we look at the sky. Because if they are natural, they show us the vastness of processes we still don't understand. But if they are artificial, they remind us that perhaps we have never been alone, and that we may be under observation at this very moment. Subscribe if you too feel that something is hidden in the depths of the universe.